Welcome. Let us take a look at the second trumpet in Revelation chapter 8 verses 8 to 9. The second angel sounded his trumpet, indicating the second of 7 judgments to come upon the earth. Something like a great mountain blazing with fire was hurled into the sea. This could be a description of a meteorite or some other celestial object crashing into the sea. As a result of the impact, a third of the sea was turned to blood. This could be a reference to the death and destruction caused by the event, or it could be a literal description of the sea turning red with blood. A third of the living creatures that were in the sea died. This includes fish, marine mammals, and other aquatic life forms. The death of such a large proportion of the sea's inhabitants would have had significant ecological consequences. Fish and other marine creatures play a crucial role in the ocean's food chain. The loss of a third of the sea's inhabitants would have disrupted this delicate balance. This would have had ripple effects throughout the ocean's ecosystem, potentially leading to the extinction of certain species. Additionally, the death of so many marine creatures would have had significant economic consequences. A third of the ships were destroyed. This would be due to the impact of the object that fell into the ocean. If the great mountain or asteroid that was hurled into the sea was large enough, it could have caused a massive underwater disturbance that resulted in a tsunami. This could explain why a third of the ships were destroyed, as they would have been caught in the path of the wave and capsized or smashed into other objects. Alternatively, the impact could also cause the release of toxic chemicals or other harmful substances into the water that poisoned the ship's crews or caused other damage. Also, the use of the number third is significant, as it is a recurring motif throughout the book of Revelation. The number third appears repeatedly, and it is significant because it emphasizes the scope and magnitude of the judgments. For example, in this passage, we read that a third of the sea was turned to blood. A third of the creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. In Revelation chapter 9 verse 15, we read that 4 angels were released to kill a third of mankind. And in Revelation chapter 12 verse 4, we read that the dragon's tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven. This recurring motif of thirds emphasizes that the judgments being described are not minor or isolated events, but rather significant and widespread. The number third also serves to underscore the idea of God's sovereignty over all of creation. The fact that he has the power to bring about these devastating judgments on such a large scale highlights his ultimate authority and power. Furthermore, the use of third may also have symbolic significance. In the Old Testament, the idea of a third often represents a concept of completeness or holiness. For example, in Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 2, the prophet is instructed to take a third of his hair and burn it, representing God's judgment on Jerusalem. The number 3 is also associated with the Trinity, which may add another layer of meaning to the use of third in Revelation. Overall, the recurring motif of third throughout the book of Revelation serves to emphasize the magnitude and completeness of God's judgments, while also underscoring his ultimate authority over all of creation. The color of blood is often associated with judgment and sacrifice in both the Old and New Testaments. The destruction of ships may be symbolic of the collapse of economic systems and transportation networks. The idea of a fiery mountain being hurled into the sea is reminiscent of volcanic eruptions, which have historically been associated with divine wrath in many cultures. Overall, this passage serves as a reminder of the consequences of sin and disobedience, and the importance of repentance and faith in the face of impending judgment. Thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe to Grace to Prophecy Network.